Hi, this is Alexandra. I'm a scientist in the field of philosophy and religious studies, as well as a mindset coach who helps people live happier lives and achieve new levels of results with ease and satisfaction. And this is the first episode of my OK podcast. Welcome here. As you understood, today we'll talk about scientific life hacks for the brain, which will help to combine the end of the academic semester with personal development, hobbies, and a fulfilling life. To be honest, I already recorded this podcast for the Ukrainian audience a year ago. At that time, I was graduating from university, passing state exams, and defending a scientific paper. And I combined all these with 9-to-5 office job and studying languages. I actively studied Norwegian because of personal goals. And I also traveled. During the last year of study, I visited about 10 countries. Therefore, I believe that I'm a real expert on this topic. And I'm honored to have such a good audience on this channel and to share with you something that has really helped me. So first of all, I want to clarify that I studied in one of the best Ukrainian universities at the Faculty of Philosophy, which is actually not so easy for the brain. For 3 years, I've been researching the workings of our brain, altered states of consciousness, and hallucinogenic plants, all through the lens of shamanic practice. And I really love this topic because it helped me to understand many things. And a lot of knowledge can be useful to us in our time. The brain hacks I'm going to share today are also based on this knowledge I gained, plus my own experience of combining studies with intense work in a large international company. Every time I think back to my last year at university, I think how proud I am of myself, and that's how you should feel about yourself right now. Believe me, you will definitely overcome this difficult period, and many unforgettable, incredible moments are already waiting for you. But for now, just thank yourself and your body for everything you are going through right now. And now I will share my secret how I managed to find time for all my interests in life in that busy period. So first tip, do you even understand what kind of life you want to live apart from studying? Do you know your goals? On the difficult path of completing the academic semester and combining this period with hobbies, friends, and a busy life, it's important to realize the reason that will encourage you not to merge with a given path. A reason that will make you understand why you are trying now, what all your efforts are for. A reason that will allow you to review your schedule and find points for correction and development. To do this, set a goal that will ignite you to move forward. I once heard about the effect of a ticket to Bali. The essence of this phenomenon is to come up with your ticket to Bali. It can be a trip to some country you dream of visiting, buying some gadget you want to have. Everyone will have something to motivate you. And already buy this trip for the days after the final exams, or do something that will give you the confidence that this is an inevitable event that awaits you after the end of the academic semester. This effect works on the brain in the following ways. You may struggle to focus on work or school during the week, but knowing you are flying to Chicago this Friday makes your work seem easier because you are already looking forward to the trip. And so you just cannot do this work. You just can't fail your exams. In my case, such a ticket to Bali for me was a trip to Oslo. I had student loans and was faced with the fact that if I didn't pass the subjects, I would just miss out my trip to the country I love. I just won't be able to see the city I've been dreaming of. And the anticipation of this trip allowed me to go through the impossible, because I found the very reason that drove me. I get up at 4 in the morning, but with the inspiration that soon this horror will end and I will just walk the streets of Norway. And so it happened. It was one of the best trips of my life before which I completed my exam session with maximum points. Share your ideas in the comments. What wishes can become your ticket to Bali? I'm interested in your wishes and goals. Having written them, you are already sending life energy to fulfill them. Well, my next piece of advice is when you understand your why, remove all the factors that will distract you from achieving it. A big trigger that steals your time right now and takes away attention that could be devoted to studying, achieving goals, or quality rest can be social media. I'm not recommending that you completely disappear from your social life, but at least delete the social media apps on your phone while you study. This worked very effectively for me. Every day, you can remove the apps for at least 4 hours. And this will give an incredible positive effect. Write down your passwords so you don't lose them and just delete apps that distract you. Stop looking at other people's lives so you can focus on your life and your dreams. Remember, the long-term result, that is the realization of the life you currently dream of, is much better than receiving a quick dopamine hit in the brain. Well, about the brain, I'm holding back now so as not to give you a lecture here about how our brain is arranged and how it can be outfitted. But still, I will share a tip that will definitely help you do it. If you are tired, exhausted, you lack motivation and the same dopamine, there is such an interesting thing as binaural rhythms. The effect of sound waves on the brain is actively used in shamanism, but I use the effect of sound on myself to improve the effectiveness of my studies. And now, I mostly work to such music. Binaural rhythms are special sounds that affect both hemispheres of our brain. And just as sound puts a shaman into a trance and a Hindu mantra into a deeper meditative prayer, so too can sound affect a deep state of our concentration. In the description, I will leave a link to my favorite video with binaural rhythms. Unfortunately, this is not an ad. You can try to work while listening to this sound. It's most effective to turn on headphones. Then, when listening, the sound of different frequencies enters the two hemispheres of the brain, and the brain pursues it as it were a state after waking up in the morning and accumulates our strength for further work. But I warn you, you can't deceive your brain like that every day if you eat poorly and sleep for 3 hours. This is not a very good idea, so my next tip is to create a new schedule for the day. How did I do it? Plan your day by the hour. Write down all the smallest processes. Be sure to include meals, short walks, meditation or exercise, or whatever helps you feel better, into your schedule. And be sure to calculate that you have at least 7 hours of sleep every day with this schedule. This is the period during which the brain will process information and you will be able to remember and learn new things more effectively. And you will have more energy to combine different areas of life. And my last advice for today, just forget about the fact that you don't have enough time. We really are what we believe. As long as you are convinced that you don't have time, you won't have it. Although free time can always be found. It's just that instead of spending 5 minutes of studying or doing a hobby, you spend those 5 minutes worrying, panicking, fearing that you won't succeed, or worrying that you won't have time to do anything, that you have a boring life that's impossible to fix. I remind you that I'm a mindset coach, so I also know how to solve such problems. In the case when, instead of effective actions, you are haunted by such anxiety, this effective practice helps my clients. Write down on a piece of paper, preferably by hand, because it activates our brain, everything that worries you right now, right? I can't make it, I won't make it, I'm fucking busy with university, school, work. Write down all your fears, all your thoughts and feelings until you feel like you've got everything out of your brain and onto paper. And then write down your why, which you found in the first tip I gave you today. And write down what new thoughts and feelings you will have when you achieve that dream that is your why. And think, what is better, to drown in fears and always stay where you are, or take at least one step a day towards your goal, and in a year be 365 new steps closer to your dream? That's all for today. Thank you very much for your attention. Be sure to write down any new ideas and thoughts that come to you as you listen. You can do this directly in the comments. And don't postpone my advice for later, because we don't live in yesterday or tomorrow, but in the constant today. Tomorrow will never come. You will always be in the here and now moment. But this is a completely different philosophical conversation. See you soon!